Hey guys, Flippin' Landlord Ninja here with Two Guys Take on Real Estate. Today I'm talking about off-market deals and more specifically how to find the owners and put this deal under contract. As always, we really appreciate any likes, comments, and shares that you can do with our videos, and don't forget to subscribe.
Two Guys Take on Real Estate.
Off-market deals, what are those? First off, let's kind of put a little context to that. An off-market deal is something that is just basically, it's not open to the public. It's not on the MLS or the multiple listing service. This is a deal that you're hunting down specifically, whether you or maybe you work with a wholesaler, or maybe you're getting a off-market listing, like a pocket listing from a realtor. But often, especially when you're first starting out, you're going to be hunting the deal yourself. You're going to be out there. Maybe it's driving for dollars. Maybe you're working a condemned property list. Maybe you're working a pre-foreclosure list. Or we often work with a lot of different pre-probates and stuff like that. And we have a lot of videos here, so you can check more about those. But what I want to talk about is, how do you find that owner? How do you go about getting that owner so that you can actually put the deal under contract? The first step, of course, is what we like to do is we'll drive out to the property. Maybe that's occupied. So we'll actually go there, we'll knock on the door, maybe we'll leave a nice little door hanger for them to reach out to us. That's the first step we always try to do, is actually reaching out to them. And I find if you can't actually find the person there, what we also have done is knocked on neighbor doors. We talk about that in another video as well, but we knock on the neighbors and talk to them to see if they'll have maybe an area that they know that the person has moved to, or if maybe you can give them your phone number to actually help reach out to them if that person shows up. So this way, I was at a two-family house just the other day in Westfield, Massachusetts. We went there, we knocked around the property. It looks vacant, but who knows, the power was still possibly on. So we went over to the neighbor's house, knocked on the door, spoke to the person via Ring camera, and we were like, hey, do you know if someone lives there? And the person was like, well, I haven't seen the lady in a while, but I think she still lives there. I'm like, oh, we're investors in the area. We're looking to actually fix up this property. I'm sure you'd like to see that. Oh yeah, definitely. I want it, it's disaster. It's, overgrown, all this problems with this property. This neighbor really would love to see that nice property fixed up. And I'm like, well, if you would, could you take down my number? And if you see the neighbor, give me a call. This way I can come over and talk to them and hopefully help their situation, maybe also help your situation. So skip tracing, you can do it. There's a couple different ways you can do it. If you're using the Deal Machine app, first off, there's also a website, but it also has a nice app on Android and iPhone. We use it all the time. It's also like a little mini CRM, so you can track all the properties that you're searching, as well as when you're driving around, you can click and add that property to your list. It does have a skip trace functionality. So for this person specifically, I came up with a few different numbers. It's not always the best skip tracing software. That's why if we don't have a great success with this one, we go to also one of the free ones, which is truepeoplesearch.com. So truepeoplesearch.com is a free skip tracing software out there that you can use. We've had some success with it, but once again, if we fail the first time or the second time, we also go to another one. So there's a lot of stuff out there. Do your research. We do like Intelius. It gets pretty thorough information. So for instance, I got a couple people hits on what's one property. And not only that, I also have the relatives. That's what I really like, is if I can't get any one person or the owner on the phone, often I found especially if they're really into a bad situation, they might bury their head in the sand, so to speak. And so they're not going to answer the phone, especially to a number that they don't know who I am. So I might be able to reach out to maybe an aunt and uncle, maybe a father or a sister, something like that. And this right here gives me access to the relatives that I can then call them. They're more willing to, because maybe they're not in a bad situation, they're going to answer the phone. And then I can kind of present them with a scenario where I'm saying, hey, I'm trying to reach your brother, your cousin, whatever it might be, to try to help them with their situation. Is it possible for you to give them my number or something to that effect, or maybe where they moved to or something around those lines? This way you can have a little bit more information so you hopefully can actually get this person on the phone. Because that's honestly the hardest part, is getting them on the phone. Once you get them on the phone, it's really about figuring out what their situation is, what their need is, and how to meet in the middle so that it's a win-win situation. Once you find a win-win situation, it's you're pretty much downhill from there. So I would say the hardest part always is skip tracing and getting that person on the phone, or talking to that person in person. I mean, which is, I like the best way, because I love a one-on-one conversation, and I find that works the best way. We also will send out mailers, which once again you can use, which is awesome. Deal Machine actually has that all. You can actually set up a mailer campaign right here, so you can do that and have that also kind of automatically go out for you, which is another great system that you can have. So basically, it's all about multiple ways of reaching out to these people, and the more feelers you put out, the higher success rate you're going to have. So we like to do text blasting, which you can also do in Deal Machine. We like to do calls. We like to do drop by at the house. We also will do talking to the neighbors. I also have someone actually driving by. I'll have a set of properties, and I'll have that person just drive by, and once they see that someone's at the property, I have them call me right away, so Kevin or I can get over there and hopefully kind of catch that person and make a deal happen. So that is something. So sometimes, even though I know a lot of people work 9 to 5s, often people are going to be home much later. So you might have to drive by the house at 6, 7 o'clock at night, maybe right after dinner or something, so that you can reach them. Or maybe they're more likely to on a weekend, like today's a Saturday. I'm going to go drive by this property again and see if I can actually get this guy hopefully at the property. I believe there's someone living there. When I was there earlier, I knocked, didn't get anyone. So I'm going to go again today. Because it's all about a little bit more repetition, and eventually I will find that person, and then I'll have a high success rate of actually putting the deal together. So I hope this was helpful. If you want to know more about just finding distressed properties, check out this video, and I hope to see you guys again.